Hey guys, welcome to the Hoosier Huddle preview show. I'm Rylie Kyhn with Lauralys and Nate Comp. Indiana is coming off a pretty bad loss to Iowa last weekend. A pretty bad performance overall. Lauralys, how important do you think it is for them to recover from this? Do you believe that this is a season-defining moment this week coming off that loss?
Yeah, I definitely think how they respond to this pretty bad Iowa loss against Penn State this weekend is a huge season-defining moment for this team, because right now they're 4-3 and they've got 5 games left and they need to win at least 2 to be bowl eligible. And having a bad homecoming loss in the middle of the year is probably something that your team's not going to want to go through, as they still have 5 more tough games ahead. But on Monday, Wes Martin and Jacob Robinson asked Coach Allen if they could have a players-only practice that would be open for any of the seniors to say whatever they'd like to say. And I heard it was a positive meeting. I know Jonathan Crawford spoke at it, other pretty pivotal seniors on this team. So I definitely don't think this Indiana team's in panic mode by any means. I think the players-only meeting is a great initiative by this Indiana squad to try and regroup and say, hey, we can move on from here. We've still got 5 games left. There's a lot of this season left, and I do think the way they respond to that loss on Iowa is going to be a season-defining moment for this team.
And even just flipping it to the other side, it's probably a season-defining moment for the Penn State squad as well. They've lost 2 straight. The Ohio State one was crushing. They played well that whole game and then ended up losing by 1 point on their big whiteout game. And then they just had a very surprising loss last week to Michigan State. So they're going to come out as a very ticked-off squad. They want to show that they still have the possibility of being in the college football playoff. Even with 2 losses, they're still a very good team. So we're going to see 2 teams that are pretty angry and trying to prove that they are elite.
And I think the way Indiana responds this weekend is really going to set the tone for the rest of the season. Now, looking ahead to the Penn State game this weekend, what does Indiana need to do to keep it competitive?
Yeah, I think a lot of it will come down to Indiana's pass defense. We saw these past 2 weeks, they gave up 6 touchdowns to Dwayne Haskins and then another 6 touchdowns to Nate Stanley. And the secondary has just been very poor in coverage. Receivers have been open across the middle. A lot of the swing routes that just passing only like 5 yards to the running back have gained into like 70-yard plays or 70-yard touchdowns. Indiana's pass defense will have to improve this week, and they've got Trace McSorley coming into the season was a potential Heisman candidate, so they will have to be able to slow him down.
Yeah, and I think another thing, too, if Indiana wants to keep this game close and competitive and put themselves in a position to win, is they're going to need to create turnovers. They're going to need to create their own luck. So with that, I mean, if any interceptions up in the air, they need to be able to pick those off. Any type of opportunities like that, the defense is going to need to come away with takeaways. And also special teams, I think special teams could come up big in this game. That is, if Indiana can keep this game close. I think if any type of big punt return, kickoff, or any field position too can come into play here. If they can start pinning Penn State deep, it kind of limits their play calling abilities. So I think special teams could be a huge factor in just takeaways.
Kickoff is this Saturday at 3:30 on ABC. For Lauralys and Nate Comp, I'm Rylie Kyhn. Thank you for watching the Hoosier Huddle preview show.